Okay, this is Pastor Rhonda. I tried to tape on Facebook, but it's kept trying to reconnect. So this is August 1st, 2020, and I'm going to be talking about an interesting lesson today. And so the title of this lesson is Who Will Be Your Next King? Will it be Trump? Will it be Biden? Or will it be Yahuwah? And so we just have to make up in our minds who we're going to serve. Our lesson begins at 1 Samuel, the 8th chapter. And so it says, "And it came to pass when Samuel was old, that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second Abiah. They were judges in Beersheba. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre, took bribes, and perverted judgment." So when we look at Samuel, Samuel was basically the last judge of Israel. And he went from year to year around the cities of Israel, and he began to judge. He was the one that the Most High set in place. And if you go back to the first chapter of Samuel, of how the Most High called him into the office. Samuel was a righteous, he was an upstandard man. He did what the Most High told him to do. And so now here he is, he's getting old. And as he's getting old, there are a series of events that's getting ready to take place. So you know how it is sometimes when, we hear it all the time that the preacher's children are the worst children. We hear that the leaders' children are the worst children. And sometimes that is the truth. And so here we have his sons who were bribing people. They were taking lucre. What is lucre? Lucre is money obtained in a scandalous, distasteful way. It is bribery. It is, and sometimes even the pastor's children or the leader's children feel like that they have a trump card. They feel as if they have privilege. They're privileged, to because you know my name, or you know who I am, and you know who I am a child of, that everything shall come easy for me. But how many of you know that we all have to follow the righteous path of the Most High? Okay, so we go on. It says, verse 4, "Then all the elders of the children gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations." Okay, so here we are. Our ancestors, here they go into. We cannot do what Samuel is doing anymore. We're looking over at the other nations. We're looking at a nation away from us. We're looking at the neighbor to the east. We're looking at the neighbor to the west, the south, the east. And we're looking at how they have kings and how they have their system. And we're liking their system. But according to the Bible tells the children of Israel, our ancestors, to follow not the ways of the heathen nation. Yet, I guess what they're seeing is what the heathen nation is doing is they're having fun, they're having success, they're having the best time of their life. And yet this is not the case. This is not the case. This is not true. So the only thing that they could find on Samuel, they could not find in his repertoire, that his pedigree, they could not find that he was wicked, that he was not judging correctly, he didn't show favoritism. They couldn't find anything. The only thing that they could find was that Samuel was old. Okay? Verse 6, "But the thing displeased Samuel, when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto Yahuwah." Why did he pray unto Yahuwah? Because number one, his feelings was hurt. He was hurt because this is a stiff-necked people, a people that just don't want to serve the Most High, and they want to do it the way that they think it ought to be done. So I'm going to put a pin in that. Let's go turn to 2 chapters over, and we're just going to give you some information on Samuel. 1 Samuel 12. And Samuel said unto all Israel, Behold, I have hearkened unto your voice, and all that ye said unto me, and have made a king over you. And now, behold, the king walketh before you, and I am old and gray-headed. And behold, my sons are with you, and I have walked before you from my childhood unto this day. So Samuel is telling him, there was nothing that you saw in me that was wicked. There was nothing that you saw in me that was wrong. I was upstanding before you. I did what the Most High told me to do. What is it that make you want to change and go against the Most High? Okay, back to 1 Samuel 8. Verse 7. And YAHUAH said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. So little by little, they were removing the Most High out of their lives. These are our ancestors. These are the children of Israel who decided not to. We don't want the Most High anymore. We don't need him anymore. We're having success all by ourselves. We have our children. We have the abundance of the gold. We have the abundance of silver. We're being successful. Now that we're being successful, let's kick the Most High out. Let's kick him out, and let's just do what we do. Let's do what we do best. Verse 8. According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day. Okay, look at this. Look at how in the book of Exodus, and when the children of Israel came to begin to pray, actually, they began to pray, and they began to pray to the Father, asking him, remove this yoke from us, remove this bondage from us. We have been here. And they cried out, and they cried, and what did the word say? And the Most High heard. He heard their heart. He heard what they were saying. He heard them. He heard them. So by him hearing, because they weren't just saying it with their lips, they were saying it with their emotion. They were saying it with their heart. They were saying it with fervent. I can imagine they were fasting, they were praying, they were prostrate before the Most High, and they were really trying to get out of Egypt because the yoke of bondage was too hard for them. The yoke of bondage was awful for them. Yet the Most High, the word says, he heard them, and then he put Moses over them. He proved to us who he was by giving them, the Egyptians, plagues of locusts, of blood, of killing the firstborn, of starvation, of the locusts, of the frogs, of all of these things. He proved himself. It's almost like when a man takes a woman, okay? A man takes a woman, and he wants to prove to her that he is a gentleman. He wants to prove to her that this is the man that you want to live with for the rest of your life, okay? How does he do that? He woos her. He engages her. He shows her all the beautiful things of what life could be. He began to engage himself in buying her gifts, buying her things that will make her happy. He's really eyeing her, wooing her, pulling her in, softening up her heart, as if to say, he's saying, I really want you. You are a beautiful person. I want you to live with you and take you as my bride for the rest of my life. This is what he's saying, to do this. And he's saying, I'm a good man. I want your attention. I want everything over you for you to look at me as that person. I want you to have my children. I want you to extend my name. Hallelujah. Extend my name into the earth by giving me an inheritance. Okay? So this is what the Most High did for the children of Israel. He wanted an inheritance to be in the earth so the other nations could look to. So he brings them out of Egypt with a mighty hand, and he engages them. How does he engages them? He removes the incestuous, wicked. He removes the filth from Egypt. He removed the gods. He removed the false idols. He engages himself, and he's showing them, I am the one that I want you to worship. Worship me. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right, but look straight up to me, and I will give you what you want. I will give you what you need. And see, and this is the problem, is when we get what we want and when we get what we need, we still don't seek the Most High's face. We seek his hand. We seek what he can give us. And he's telling us, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, then shall I heal the land. So what is happening? And here we are after from Egypt unto America. Yet we as a people still don't see what the Most High is doing, trying to do for his people. Who are you going to choose? Will it be Trump? Will it be Biden? Will it be YAHUAH? Will it be the Most High that is going to give you everything that you need, you want, and remove you out of this land? We don't want equal status with this nation. He wants to remove us from this nation and take us back to the Mount Sinai that he started from. So we have got to open up our eyes, and we have got to worship the Most High and continue to do that. We have to take our eyes off this world, because in every decade, in the Democratic arena, in the Republic arena, in the liberal arena, in all of these arenas, what has anyone done for us? Okay, so we're going to find out what the king is going to do. We're still in 1 Samuel 8. And we're going to reread the 8th verse. According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods, so do they also unto thee. So the Most High is telling Samuel, I'm giving you the words to teach the people. They're rejecting everything that you're saying. They're rejecting the things that I told you to tell them. They're rejecting it. They no longer want to do it the way I'm supposed. Listen, from the beginning to the end, the Bible says declaring the end from the beginning. He's telling us in this word what we're going to do, what we should not do, but he knows that we are a stiff-necked people. He is constantly knocking on our door. He's constantly knocking on our door, knocking at our heart. Wake up, people. Verse 9, now therefore hearken unto their voice. Howbeit ye protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them. And Samuel told all the words of YAHUAH unto the people that ask of him a king. And he said, this will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons, appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over 50s, and will set them to ear his ground, which means to plow his ground, and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war, and instruments of chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries, to be cooks, to be bakers, And he will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. 1 Samuel 8. Verse 15, and he will take the tenth of your seed and of your vineyard, and give his officers and to his servants. And he will take your men servants, your maid servants, and your goodliest young men, and your asses, and put them to his work. Okay, so Samuel is telling these people, this is what you want. This is what you want to choose. You want to choose a king. Aside from the ultimate king, you want to choose a king an earthly king that's doing what the nations is doing? Come on. No. So Samuel says, listen to this. Samuel is telling them what the earthly king is going to do to them. It's going to take your daughters, make them confectionaries. What is a confectionery? A confectionaries, he's going to take them out of your house, out of your yard, make them make perfume for the king. Everything has to be for the king. Take your young men, put them in his field. Take your animals, take your asses, your donkeys, your horses, take all that you have, everything that the Most High gave you. Take those things, okay, and give them to the king. What is your decision? He's given them a whole list of what he's going to do. Yet they still did not hear Samuel. They want a king. Okay, let's turn to Deuteronomy 8. Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter. Yeah, because I'm going to back this up with scripture. And this is the children of Israel. This is the children of Israel. I'm taping. Okay, and so we're gonna. I'm taping this so I can put it on YouTube and Facebook later. So, but this is what the children of Israel. Get in.
What's that?
This is what the children of Israel is doing. Deuteronomy 8. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which YAHUAH sware unto your fathers. And thou shalt remember all the way which YAHUAH thy Elohim led these 40 years in the wilderness. Number 1, he led you in the wilderness to humble you. Number 2, and to prove thee. Number 3, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or not. So he's saying, I put you in the wilderness, okay? I took you away from all of the people so that I can get your heart, okay? I can get your attention. I can feed you. So number 1 is to humble you. It's to remove all of the harshness and all of the decisions that you think you have made. Everything that you've heard from all of the other people, I want your attention. Number 2, to prove who you are in your heart. See, the Most High wants to show us who we are in our heart, which means that he's going to show that we are no earthly good. We're heavenly bound, but we're no earthly good when we make decisions on our own aside from him. Number 3, and he wants to show us what was in our heart. Number 3, whether we would keep his commandments or not. And that is a big one, because even today we do not keep his commandments. The churches will be filled tomorrow. The preachers will be teaching on these streams, yet they won't give the Most High the Sabbath day like he asked them to. Verse 3, and he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger, fed thee with manna. He made sure that there was nothing in your system, because he wants to give you not only his hand, but he wants to give you his face. He wants to give you his face and to give you his hand, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yahuwah doth man live. Thy raiment wax not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. Look at how the Most High took care of us. Clothes did not fall off of us. Shoes did not tatter. Our feet, they didn't swell. We didn't get sick. None of that. Why? Because the hand of the Most High was over us. Okay? Thou shalt also consider in thine heart that as a man chaseth his son, so Yahuwah thy Elohim chasteneth thee. So this is saying he had to remove all of the sinful things and lustful things from Egypt. All the things that we decided to do, he had to remove those things from us. That's why he took us and he engaged us. He engaged us, yet when he engaged us, there were still some yelling and screaming, take us back to Egypt. There was food. There was food on our table. We were able to eat and to drink, but yet you would really still rather have the stripes on your back and work like a Hebrew slave that we were. Work like that, but yet get your belly full. So that lets me know that your attention was not in the right place. As long as your belly was full, you would follow any command that anybody tell you to do. Thou shalt also consider in thine heart, verse 5, that as a man chasteneth his son, as a man instructs his son, as a man tells his son what he should and shouldn't do, this is the way that the Most High was talking about. He was chastening us. Verse 6, therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahuwah thy Elohim, to walk in his ways and to fear him. That means to reverence him.
Yes.
Verse 7, for Yahuwah thy Elohim bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks of water. Listen to this. Of fountains and depths that spring out of valleys and hills. A land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates. A land of olive oil and honey. A land wherein thou shalt eat bread without scarceness. Thou shalt not lack anything in it. And land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills thou mayest dig brass. Come on. When thou hast eaten and art full, then thou shalt bless Yahuwah thy Elohim for the good land which he hath given thee. Beware that thou forget not Yahuwah thy Elohim, in not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. So he's given us instruction when you go over to, which is the land of Canaan, which became the land of Israel. When you go over there, I'm going to give you the best land. I'm going to give you the trees, the brooks. You won't lack anything. Even when you go to dig, there would be so much brass. What can you do with brass? Brass is one of the hardest metals. You can make your chairs, you can make your spoons, you can make all of the things that, there's so much that you can do with brass. So he's telling you, but there is a stipulation. When you have eaten and you're full, and then you bless Yahuwah thy Elohim for the good land which he hath given you, there is a warning. Beware that thou forget not Yahuwah thy Elohim, in not keeping his commandments, his judgments, his statutes, which I command you this day. Because Moses is getting ready to die, he's reminding the people, and he's saying in this chapter, I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, because he knew that they were not going to keep the commandments. Verse 12, lest when thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built goodly houses and dwelt therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thine heart be lifted up, And thou forget YAHUAH thy Elohim, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, who led thee through that great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought, where there was no water, who brought thee forth water out of the rocks of flint, who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not. And who are our fathers? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is who he's talking about. These are our fathers. That he might humble thee, that he might prove thee, and do thee good at thy latter end. So the Most High is saying, I'm going to do you good at the end, but you have to obey me. And thou say in thy heart, what do we say in our heart? This is what the Most High, he's putting to us who we are. My power and the might of mine hand hath gotten me this wealth. Really? So this is what we say against the Most High, and he's telling us that I'm giving this to you? No, but we're saying my power has done it. My mental capability has done this. I've done this off of my intellectuality. I've done all of this. Me, my, and I. And this is the problem we have today. It's all about me. It's all about mine. It's all about me, mine, and I. Okay? We brag and we do things. And even as we go about our day, we do things as if we've done it, not realizing it is the Most High that has given us the capabilities of getting everything that he has given us. Verse 18, but thou shalt remember YAHUAH thy Elohim, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day. And it shall be, if thou do at all forget YAHUAH thy Elohim, and walk after other gods, and serve them and worship them, I testify against you this day, that ye shall surely perish. As the nations with which YAHUAH destroyed before your face, so shall ye perish, because ye would not be obedient unto the voice of YAHUAH your Elohim, which is why we ended up going into slavery. It's why we ended up going back into servitude and chains and bondages, okay, as we were in Egypt. Okay, back to 1 Samuel 8. We're going to go to the 18th verse. And ye shall cry out in that day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen you. Okay, Samuel is telling him because the Most High is telling him. The Most High said to Samuel, they're going to regret this getting a king. They rejected me, but we're not going to turn back. We're going to continue to give them kings. And they're going to cry out in that day because of your king, which ye have chosen, and YAHUAH will not hear you in that day. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, nope, but we will have a king over us. Verse 20, that we also may be like all the other nations, and that our king may judge us, and go out before us and fight our battles. Now, didn't we just hear and see in Deuteronomy 8 that the Most High was the one that fought the battles for his people? And he brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand? Yet we want to switch our kings and switch our battlefields and give them to man, take the power out of the Most High's hand and put them into man's hand. How backwards is that? Verse 21, and Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of YAHUAH. He repeated everything that the people said into the ear of the Most High. Why would you want to exchange the ultimate king into a low-level king that cannot give you what the Most High gives you? What did the Bible tell us? Deuteronomy, the 9th chapter. We'll go there. Hear, O Israel, Deuteronomy 9. Thou art to pass over Jordan this day. And this is when the Most High was getting ready to give the children of Israel Canaan. You're going to go over Jordan, You're going to possess nations greater and mightier than thyself, cities great and fenced up to heaven, a people great and tall, the children of the Anakims who thou knowest, and of whom thou hast heard say, the Anakims brag and say, who can stand before the children of Anak? Okay? You have nations that's bragging. You have nations that's saying, who can stand up against us? We have our own people. We have our own gods. But who can stand against the Most High? Who can stand before him? We're going to go to verse 4, and it says, speak not thou in thine heart, because the Most High is going to deliver them, and he's going to put them into Israel. And so he's telling the children of Israel, he's giving them instructions. Speak not thou in thine heart, after that YAHUAH Elohim hath cast him out from before you, saying, for my righteousness YAHUAH hath brought me in to possess this land. But for the wickedness of these nations YAHUAH doth drive them out from before thee. It's not because of me that he's driving them out. It's because of the wickedness of the nation. That's why the Most High chose the children of Israel. He chose our ancestors because they were the smallest group of people in the world. And he chose them aside, and he put his spirit into their heart. As I was saying earlier, he brought them out of Egypt and he engaged them. Like a man, like I said, like a man, when he began to woo his woman, he see the woman that he wants to marry. He see the woman that he wants. So after he shown her and proved to her how much he loves her and how much he wants her in his life, what does he do? He gives her a ring of engagement. And then he gets down and he says, I want you to be my bride. And this is what the Most High did for the children of Israel. I want you to be my bride. And he tells them to go and fast and pray, come to Mount Sinai. And he asks them, I want you to be my bride. And all of the children of Israel said with one voice, we will do all that you ask us to do. Why? Why did they say that then? They said that because they were getting everything that they wanted. It's just like a spoiled child. As long as you're giving that child anything that he wants, then he's going to do what you tell him to do. But withdraw the toys. Withdraw the money. Withdraw the cars. Withdraw those things and tell him what he needs to do. See if your child will obey you. The thing is, there is an order to heaven. We have to obey the Most High first. We have to obey the leaders over us. We have to obey our parents. We have to obey what is right. And when the Most High is giving us instructions, we have to obey that. So when the children after the engagement part of the Most High, removing all of the molestation and all of the things from Egypt, and he showed our ancestors what he's capable of doing and how he's capable of removing all of the stench away from us. When he showed that got their attention. And they said, everything that you tell us to do, we shall do it. But it goes on here in Deuteronomy, the Most High saying, you took it from me and you put it upon yourself. So he's saying, I'm delivering you, but it's not because of your righteousness, because you are a stiff-necked people. We're going to keep reading. Verse 5, not for thy righteousness or for the uprightness of thine heart dost thou go to possess their land, but for the wickedness of these nations YAHUAH thy Elohim doth drive them out from before thee, and that he may perform the word which YAHUAH sware unto thy fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Understand therefore that YAHUAH thy Elohim giveth thee not this good land to possess it for thy righteousness, for thou art a stiff-necked people. Remember and forget not how thou provoked YAHUAH thy Elohim to wrath in the wilderness, from the day that thou didst depart out of the land of Egypt until ye came unto this place. Ye have been rebellious against the Most High. So he's telling us that we are a stiff-necked people. Nothing has really changed for our people. Listen, when you go back to when they were coming up, when the children of Israel was coming out of Egypt and they was getting ready to possess the land, the Bible says in Numbers 33, he gives us the specific instruction. Numbers 33 and 54, he said, "And ye shall divide the land by lot for an inheritance among your families. And to the more ye shall give, the more inheritance, and to the fewer ye shall give the less inheritance. Every man's inheritance shall be in the place wherein his lot falls, according to the tribe of your fathers. Ye shall inherit. But if ye will not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then it shall come to pass that those which ye let remain of them shall be pricks in your eyes and thorns in your side, and shall vex you in the land wherever ye dwell. Moreover, it shall come to pass that I shall do unto them as I thought to do unto them." He said, "I shall do unto you as I thought to do unto them." So what is he saying? Our people have been disobedient from the very beginning, because as he was getting ready to divide the land, what did he tell us? When you go over into the land, the King James Version says to drive them out, but he said to kill everybody in Canaan. Kill every group, every county, everything. He said kill them. And so we turn to Judges 2. "And an angel of YAHUAH came up from Gilgal to Bochim and said, I made you to go up out of Egypt, and have brought you into the land which I swear unto your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I said, I will never break my covenant with you," even though we went into slavery, even though we've had atrocities as a group of people, yet he still won't forget his covenant with his people. Verse 2, "And ye shall make no league with the inhabitants of this land, Canaan. Ye shall throw down their altars, but ye have not obeyed my voice." When he gave them specific instructions, when you go over there, kill all of them, okay? Because if you don't kill them, they're going to influence you. "And ye shall make no league with them," make no promises with them. Don't couple with them. Don't join together with them. If you join together with them, they're going to turn your heart away from me. Throw down their altars. There's only one altar, and that is the altar for me. "But ye have not obeyed my voice." And the Most High asks a question: "Why have ye done this?"